Jill and Derrick have been estranged from. Duggar patriarch Jim Bob. Rumors of a reconciliation swirled after Jill Duggar and her husband Derrick Dillard were spotted spending time with Jill's estranged father Jim Bob Duggar over the holidays, but now Derrick is responding to the speculation, and it seems the family hasn't patched things up after all in an Instagram photo posted on Christmas Day by Jill's brother James Duggar. Jill and Derrick sat on a couch seemingly engaged in conversation with and Bob couple's three sons Israel, Samuel and Freddie also appeared in the snap. Fans wondered if the pic meant that Jill, who's been open about her complicated relationship with her parents, might be on better terms with her father now. However, Derrick explained in a comment on people's Instagram post about the image that this was not the case. Just so people know, Jim Bob approached me while we were there on Christmas Day for about 5 minutes and I do not respect him, Derrick wrote. I don't think that is considered Ming. He continued, referencing People's headline. There were over 100 people. The house is 8,000 feet and Santa Claus was there, so this isn't your typical intimate family gathering. Derrick added, I have spoken with him less than 10 minutes since the last time we were at that house, which was over a year ago. We're trying to be civil for the sake of our family, but that doesn't mean everything is all hunky-dory, and it sure doesn't mean that I'm not going to comment when people try to warp reality for their own purposes, he concluded. Jill isn't the only member of the Duggar family to have spoken out about tense relations with Jim Bob and their mom. Michelle's sisters Joy, Anna and Jinger have also been candid about their upbringing, with Jinger publishing a memoir, Becoming Free Indeed, My Story of Disentangling Faith from Fear. Jill Duggar's husband is making his opinions on Jim Bob Duggar known on Thursday, January 9. Derrick Dillard, who tied the knot with the counting on Alan back in 2014, left a comment on Instagram under a post from People of a side-by-side photo of Jill and Jim Bob, which read, Jill Duggar Dillard and husband seem mingling with her estranged dad Jim Bob and brother James. Christmas photos. Derrick set the record straight regarding the time he spent with the former 19 kids and counting star over Christmas, and explained he does not hold him in high regard. Just so people know, Jim Bob approached me while we were there on Christmas Day for about 5 minutes and I do not respect him, he began. I don't think that is considered mingling. There were over people. The house is 8,000 square feet and Santa Claus was there, so this isn't your typical intimate family gathering. Derrick, a prosecuting attorney, did not elaborate on why he lacks respect for the father of 19, saying he wants to keep things cool for the family's benefit. Derrick and Jill are parents to sons Israel, David, Samuel, Scott and Frederick. Freddie Michael, I have spoken with him less than 10 minutes since the last time we were at that house, which was over a year ago. He wrote, we're trying to be civil for the sake of our family, but that doesn't mean everything is all hunky-dory, and it sure doesn't mean that I'm not going to comment when people try to warp reality for their own purposes. In November, Jill described her relationship with her parents as complicated during an Instagram Q&A, but noted that she's working on repairing the relationship. I feel like we are in a rebuilding phase now, with healthy boundaries still in place, Jill stated on Instagram. Additionally, the husband and wife duo released a book titled Counting the Cost in September 2023, which detailed the dark reality of what went on behind the scenes of the show and the toxic culture in which Jill was raised. Jim Bob and his wife Michelle Duggar brought their kids up in a Christian fundamentalist organization called the Institute in Basic Life Principles. Christmas reunion doesn't mean that Jill Dillard, nay, Duggar and Derrick Dillard have patched things up in their relationship with her father Jim Bob Duggar after the trio was seen conversing in the background of one of James Duggar's 2024 Christmas Day photos. Derrick set the record straight on whether he and Jill were back on good terms with Jim Bob. Just so people know, Jim Bob approached me while we were there on Christmas Day for about 5 minutes and I do not respect him, he wrote in the comment section of an Instagram post that referenced the reunion. I don't think that is considered mingling. There were over 100 people. The house is 8,000 square feet and Santa Claus was there, so this isn't your typical intimate family gathering, he continued. I have spoken with him less than 10 minutes since the last time we were at that house, which was over a year ago. We're trying to be civil for the sake of our family, but that doesn't mean everything is all hunky-dory sick, and it sure doesn't mean that I'm not going to comment when people try to warm reality for their own purposes. The Dillards have been estranged from Jim Bob since they took part in the Prime Video Deisa Shiny Happy People Duggar Family Secrets in June 2023. My dad does control a lot of things in the family, Jill said in one scene. Family relationships were already kind of rocky. Everything within the family dynamic has shifted, and not for the better. A few months later, the couple continued to expose secrets about Jill's upbringing in their memoir, counting the cost among other bombshells. They claimed that Jim Bob didn't pay them to appear on the family's reality shows 19 Kids and Counting on. In November 2024, Jill admitted that her relationship with her parents is still complicated. However, she added, I feel like we are in a rebuilding phase now, with healthy boundaries still in place. We try to hang out whenever it works well, and we have the bandwidth to navigate things. Jill Duggar, one of the reality TV celebrities from the 19 Kids and Counting series, is heavily pregnant with her second child in tow. However, just like female tennis superstar Serena Williams, who appeared nude on a Vanity Fair cover, one of these moms to be know the gender of the child that they are carrying at the moment. Through all, there is always a degree of excitement in that, and with fans left guessing, will it be a boy or a girl that will be born as the due date arrives. Jill Duggar is married to husband Derrick Dillard, and the anxiety, as well as excitement receiving the latest bundle of joy, continues to build up. Can be that they are working on a neutral theme in the room to welcome the arrival of the latest addition to the family, as that is not unheard of before. Right now, the 26-year-old Jill Duggar is a mother to 2-year-old Israel, who is also known as Izzy in short. She and her husband did reveal earlier on that Izzy will end up being a big brother to another little boy, but that has not been officially confirmed just yet. That bit of news was shared back in January earlier this year in a video for TLC. 28-year-old Derrick said Israel didn't really understand what was happening, but he's just excited because other people are excited, so he's just excited about his new little baby brother. Jill also gushed, we're really excited about having another son. I know that Israel and this little one will be best friends. Apart from that, the baby's new name will be Samuel Scott Dillard. The happy couple wrote on their site, we are so excited to announce the name of baby Dillard number 2 Samuel Scott Dillard. We can't wait to welcome him to the world and have him join our family very soon. With Jill Duggar being due in July, it is less than a month to go before Samuel is born and takes the very first breaths of air from this world. It is not far from the truth to figure out that Derrick and Jill are going to stop at just 2 children based on the family environment in which they grew up in. Surely Jill would know of the feeling when it comes to enjoying a large family with so many siblings. around and she might just wish for the same to happen to her growing brood. Having been married for over 3 years, the two were rather firm in their decision to raise a large family in which the one Jill grew up in Jill shared right after her engagement. Both of us want as many kids as God will give us. My parents have kept popping them out, so we'll see how our fertility is. In fact, they were even keen to discuss the very idea of adoption, something which is not the cup of tea for everyone. As for Jill's sister, Jessa Duggar, the June 26th episode of Counting On has shown how Jessa Duggar welcomed her second baby in February. Earlier this year, baby Henry, as he is known, is the second child of 24-year-old Jessa Duggar, sold after a 5-hour labor. This is child's play compared to her first son Spurgeon, who took more than 2 days of labor while requiring a blood transfusion in the process. Jess's year-old sister Jan Duggar even termed it a perfect birth. Surely this is something that all women would love to have, compared to struggling for hours on end to give birth. Let's hope that Jill Duggar and Derrick Dillard